Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Nishmas Imi Merossi Rusmas Mordechai. Asked the Oilam yesterday to daven for me. Going on vacation, going for Pesach for extended time. Daven. Nobody davened. Because if somebody would have davened, this whole ordeal wouldn't have happened. What am I talking about? So I arrived in Switzerland in the airport. And until I made it to my hotel room, it took many hours. What happened was we finally got to the hotel at about midnight. We show up there and the reception is closed. Hotel is closed. You can't get in. There's nothing doing. I found somebody who was in the hotel. He says, I don't know what to tell you. You need a key. You need to speak to somebody. So at about 1 o'clock in the morning, we found another hotel that's open 24 hours. And I decided, okay, let's go. We have to start making charts. My kid said, hey, we can't sleep. The lights are on. So I got another room. The kids are here. I am in this little room. Not the hotel I'm supposed to be at. Don't worry about it. But call at Chol's Koshois, vacations, it's not as simple as you guys think. You got to learn in all situations. Sometimes there's a room. Sometimes you sleep. Sometimes you don't sleep. We're learning. We're doing the daf together. We're holding Daf Chavzayin. And before we go, I'm going to forgo the emails today because we're very, very late. But Baruch Hashem, there's a nace that I'm able to be on the screen. I'm able to transmit on Zoom, on YouTube, that the internet is actually working, that Gary is on my computer as we speak and he's manipulating the screens. And Be'ezer Hashem, it should go without any hitches. The Paras HaChodesh for the Koilel is sponsored anonymously in zechus of Hil ben Saradina, Rivko Basfega. They should be zechus to Kayoma. Thank you. Amen. Paras HaChodesh, friends and family, Refuah Shlema for Yaakov, Yehuda ben Gittel. Paras HaChodesh, Bresler, Austein, Rosenberg, Schulman, and Tobias families. The zechus Refuah Shlema for Yeshiva, Yisroel, Meir, Dovid ben Yocheved, Druk Shlita. You see this behind me? Yes, that's darkness. It's 6:30 in the morning here in Switzerland. It's actually French Alps, not Switzerland. And it's still dark. By the Lock and Lebovic families, Lakewood NJ, because Torah is the best segula. And Paras HaChodesh, Chodesh Nisan, sponsored by Eli Elefant, Dov Pinchas, B'May Shalom, Shalom, Eli Nishmas, Rechom, Chai, Fruma, Bas, Dov Pinchas, Olav Shalom, Oleh Shalom, Eli Nishmas, Yichil Shragman, Avram, Alevi, Olav Shalom. Paras HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, L'schus Parnosen, Siat D'Shmayim, continue Ratzloch Derbeli, Shkoyach. Eli Nishmat, my sister Rivka Bat Chava, Eli Elefant, in honor of Mordechai Elefant on his 14th birthday, who's been part of this year for 3 months. Keep steiging. How's the Olam doing? You see me on Zoom. If you see me, wave your hands. Givalde, Tomer Levi, Shkoyach for everything. Anonymously, Refuah Shlema for Shimon Yehuda ben Rivka. Happy 60th birthday to DAVID STEINLAUF, our brother-in-law, and uncle, for his enthusiasm and dedication to learning the daf right here every day, with love from Esther, Jacob, Jeffrey, and Max Melamed. So you should know, DAVID STEINLAUF, I think it's your sister who really loves you. She sent an email, but I can't do any emails now. I don't have a printer. A beautiful email about how you steig and you do the daf, and how every time she schmoozes with you, you mention the retire from the daf. Okay, Rabbi Isai, we're holding just 2, 4, 6, 8 lines down from the top of Amud Beis, the middle of a major sugya. But this is a brand new sugya. Zok the Gemara. Lighting is a little low here. Omer Rav Huna, Omer Rav. Says Rav. Shtei achoyes Yevamos. Go back to that screen, please. Shtei achoyes Yevamos shenaflu lifnei yavam echad. As you see in the chart, very, very simple case. You have 3 Baldwin brothers. One of them is a Maggid Shir right now in MDY. Ruvain, Shimon, and Yehuda. And there are... No, go back to the screen, Gary. I need to see the screen. Okay. One of them is married. Reuven is married to one sister, and Yehuda is married to the other sister. So you have 2 sisters married to 3 brothers. Gary, do we need to be on the phone still? Because I hear you. I'll stay on the phone. Okay, no, not on the phone. So now, the two brothers, as you can see, died. But they didn't die in the same second. First, the brother on the right died. That's one. Then the brother on the left died. Two. So what do we have here? If you think about it, we have two sisters that through Zika fall to one brother. It's as if that one brother is married to two sisters through Zika, which is a D'Rabbanan concept, let's call it. He's not really married to two sisters. D'Rabbanan through Zika, he's married to two sisters. So what do? And that's called Achois Zikukasai. So you cannot be miyabim one because she is the sister of a zikuka. Can't be miyabim the other because she's also a sister of a zikuka. Chalatz l'rishayna, so if it performs chalitza on one of the sisters to the first one, hutra, the first one meaning the one that fell to him first. So in this case, Rachel falls to Shimon, the guy in the middle, the blue suit. Rachel falls to him first, and afterwards, Leah, the other sister, falls to him when the other brother Yehuda goes bye-bye. Chalatz l'rishayna, hutra. So as he performs chalitza to the first one, she becomes mutter to the whole world. Chalatz l'shniya, hutra, when Shimon performs chalitza on the second one, she becomes mutter to the world. Now listen to this chiddush. Mesa rishayna. If Rachel dies, you see, she goes sideways, she's dead. So now we don't have two sisters that are zakuk to one brother Shimon. All we have now is Leah left over. Mesa rishayna mutter b'shniya. That's different than what we learned in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah, there's no way out of this. Once Shimon became usher to Leah because she was alive together with her sister Rachel, what happens afterwards to Rachel is not important according to our Mishnah. He was usher to Leah, he remains usher to her forever. But Rav holds that if one of the sisters, the first one, goes bye-bye, then he becomes mutter. All of a sudden the Isser is removed, the Zika is removed, and he becomes mutter to the second one. And certainly, in a case where the second one dies, like you see on the left, this is not going in any particular, it's one big mishkabab. Everybody's dead, they're all lying on their side, but it happened in different times. As you can see, two, all the way on the left. I'm reaching over to my screen as if you see me doing that. Nice Alp water from the bathroom sink.
We're not seeing the charts on Zoom.
Gary, they're not seeing the charts on Zoom. You don't need these charts. You guys are Balakishra in the Zoom, guys. You know this stuff, I'll pay. But I see you, Mark. How's it going, Muncie? Givaldic. Try to do my kids' little taiva and hang out with them in the ski lift, and the skis. And I don't think they're very appreciative right now. Dragging them around to hotels at 1 o'clock in the morning. So certainly, the second woman, Leah, who he was mutter. If you think about it, let's take this slow. Shimon, when his brother Reuven on the right, number one, dies, so he only has one woman in front of him, and that's Rachel. Leah is not permitted to be Yevam. She's not a Yevama yet. She's married happily to Yehuda. So at that moment, he's 100% mutter to Rachel. 5 days later, Yehuda goes bye-bye. So now, Yehuda's wife Leah created a problem of a choiz kuka. So if she goes bye-bye, the problem goes bye-bye, then he goes back to the original heter. He was mutter and Rachel to begin with. Later on, 5 days later, there's a problem. Leah became another Yevama. Now Leah kicks the bucket. So he goes back to the original. That's not as big of a chiddush as if Rachel died and now he's mutter to Leah. Mishum, the Sanya, the Havio, says the Gemara, Yevama shehutra v'nesra v'chazer v'hudra. By the way, because the lighting is very low in this room, and I'm getting older, I need glasses, but I'm not going to wear them during shir. And somewhat of an all-nighter. So there's going to be some mistakes. I'm going to miss some words. So you have to jump in and tell me, because I'm here by myself and I need people to help out. So we have a situation of a Yevama that was mutter, Rachel, she was mutter. Then later on, she became asur when her sister joined her to become a Yevama. The Chazra, then her sister died, Chazra Hutra, so Rachel remains mutter. Tachzor le'tera Rishon, that's a big chiddush. Not everybody agrees to that. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Meisa Shnia Mutter B'Rishona. Rabbi Yochanan says, you're partially right, I agree to the second part. That if Leah dies, exactly what you said happens, then Rachel, who was mutter to begin with, she became asur, and then she goes back to becoming mutter. But if it's Rachel who dies, the first Yevama dies, asur bashniya. Then it's asur for Shimon to be miyabim Leah, my taima shekol Yevama shenani korba b'shas nefila. When that Yevama falls, that moment that she falls, Rachel, when she fell, she was mutter to Shimon. But now we're talking about Leah. If I can't say about Leah, Yevama, Yavay Leah, because at that point, she was no good for Shimon because Shimon was already zakuk with Rachel. She becomes like a Eshes Ach that has children, and Eshes Ach that has children is 100% Asur, V'asura, and even if you try to remove Rachel, she remains Asur. Ask the Gemara, what? Rav doesn't agree to Rabbi Yochanan. So the Gemara wants to describe now what exactly the machlekes is. There is a machlekes between Rav and Rabbi Yochanan, but we're going to see that Rav agrees to Rabbi Yochanan in some ways. Rav himself says this idea, that at the time of Nefila, at the time of her husband's death, she has to be available to the Yavam. And if at that point she's not available, she never becomes available. Says the Gemara, you're right. When does Rav share that svara? It's when she's a true achois isha. Let's see if we have a picture. No. I have to go to the next chart. Okay, here we go. No. Yeah, remove my thing here for a second. I can't see the whole screen. Okay. When there's a true achois isha, in other words, you're married to one of the women. You're married, let's say, to Rachel, and Leah falls to you. So now it's 100% achois isha d'oraisa, not through zika. The case before zika. I probably have it here somewhere, but it's not important for now. You understand what the Gemara is saying? When it's a true issa d'oraisa, then Rav agrees that she's not available for yibum for one moment, then she'll never be available. Even if your wife, let's say you're married to one sister, you're married to Rachel, and then Leah falls to you yibum because your brother was nifter, then that woman is forever forbidden to you. She's asura to you because there was never a moment that she was mutter to you. Over here, when you have four brothers, you have, our case, three brothers, and you're not married to any of the sisters. Your two brothers were married to the sisters. So that's different. Then how are they connected to you? Only through Zika. And Zika is only a D'Rabbanan concept, and Rav says in the D'Rabbanan concept, I don't say that she's never mutter to you. Once her sister dies, she becomes available to you. Our Mishnah, Arba Achim, that's this. If you look at the screen, I don't know if you can see what I see. I can't see because somebody's on my screen playing around. Hold on. Is that okay? Could I move you, Gary? Gotta move this out of the way. No. What's going on, Gary? Okay, I'll go to the small screen. You have four brothers. We're very familiar with this case. Four brothers, and two of them are married to two sisters. You see, the brothers on the outside, Reuven on the right and Yehuda on the left, they're married to two sisters. Reuven and Yehuda both went bye-bye. So now we're going to get to a very, very big question here. The Gemara is going to try very hard to answer, and we're not going to have a good answer. Now what? We have two brothers that died, and they left two sisters. And the two sisters fall to two brothers. So we have a zika to two brothers. What's the halacha? The halacha is Harei chaltzos v'lo misyabos. They require chalitza. Ask the Gemara why. Why chalitza? I have a better way. I have a way to do the real mitzvah of yibum. Let one of the brothers be miyabim. Gary, is there a way I can get back to the screen because I need to talk about these charts. One of them should do chalitza to the second woman, to Leah. And what's going to happen? That's our case. You get rid of the second one. The original Yevamos, which you muted her at one point, Rachel, she's going to become available now to Yibum. Why? The whole problem is that there's another sister involved here, but that sister, you got rid of her. The other brother did chalitza to her, and she's gone. She's not your skuk anymore. And now you can do Yibum to that one sister, the original sister. Let's look at the screen for a second. What happened was in step one, first we have two sisters, Rachel and Leah, married to two brothers, Reuven and Yehuda. Step one, Reuven on the right went bye-bye. So what happens? Rachel falls to two brothers. Are they allowed to be miyabim her? Yes. But then, step two, Yehuda goes bye-bye. And now we have two sisters that are falling to two brothers, and because of Zika, it's as if they're married, each one is married to two sisters. As the Gemara, let Levi, let's say, perform chalitza to Leah. She's the troublemaker. She's the one that, after her husband died, she came and she became the sister. She became the second Yevamos. So get rid of the second Yevamos with chalitza. And then let Shimon, instead of performing chalitza, like in this chart, it says chalitza, let Shimon perform yibum. That's a much better way to do it. According to what you're telling me, that if Rachel initially was mutter, and then she became asur through her sister Leah, and then the isur goes away through chalitza, Rachel is mutter again. Mutter, asur mutter is okay according to Rabbi Yochanan. So let that be the case now. Omar Lei, listen to this lashon. It's very important. Achayos eni yodea mishnan. You're right. It's a bomb question. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea who the author of this Mishnah is. Why would he say such a thing? The Gemara is so troubled by that the Gemara goes through, I don't remember such a thing, maybe 7-8 steps. Yes, maybe once in a while. It's very rare. So many steps. Maybe that we could fit it into Mishnah like this. Maybe we could do a tchak like that. No, we can't do that. The Gemara is going to say at the end, it's a problem. Okay. But at the end of the day, Rabbi Yochanan says, this Mishnah, I have no idea who the author is. It doesn't fit into what I'm saying. And we go weiter. You move on in life. You have a big question, you move on in life. Like the guy, he asks his Rav, he says, I can't learn. I have such a major question in the Gemara. How can I go weiter? So the Rav says, what's the question? He looks at it. And then the Rav says him an answer. He sends him 3 Tosfosim, one in Shabbos, one in Chagiga, and one in Psachim. So the guy looks at it. He has no idea what's flying. He says to the Rav, what's the connection to the Tosfos and my question? He says, look, Tosfos had a very big question. He didn't have an answer and went weiter. You also go weiter. Rabbi Yochanan went weiter. But before he goes weiter, the Gemara is going to try to see, but maybe there's a good chak here. V'leimalei, my chaltzos da'ama. No, I didn't mean that the 2 brothers should do chalitza. Of course one of the brothers should do yibum. I meant, in general, V'leima, my chaltzos nagdiktani chaltzos chada. Sorry, I'm holding over here in the beginning. One performs chalitza, like you said, exactly like you were suggesting that Levi should do chalitza and then Shimon should take over and do yibum. That's what the Mishnah meant. No, you can't say that. And we're going to go through every detail. Maybe you could say it chak like this, maybe like that. No. Chaltzois katani. Both of them get chalitza. Okay. So attempt number 1, no good. V'leimalei, maybe another attempt. My chaltzois da'alma. It's referring to Levi. Levi performs chalitza. Shimon could perform yibum exactly like you suggested. But why does it use a plural lashon of chaltzos? in general, this kind of case, all these cases of the world, Levi always performs chalitza. Hare Eluktani. No, it says Elu, these two women. Fine. Maybe in a case that he performed chalitza to the first one, Rachel, now you don't have this eitzah. It only works if you perform chalitza to Levi. Says Gemara, the Gemara says that there's no way out of it. When it says choltzois, it means that's the only way. That's the only way. Not only if you did it to Rachel. Anyway, you did it to Leah first. You did to either way. There's only chalitza no you. You're right. You could do it like that. But what if a guy doesn't know how to do it? In another case, he'll forget. He'll go ahead and he'll do chalitza to Rachel, and then Shimon will be miyabim Leah. That you said it doesn't work. We got to be geyser. Says the Gemara. But it says in the Mishnah, there's no yibum. The lekadin yibum hakak klal. There's no. Forget about gzeirus. There's no way to do yibum, even before the gzeir. Maybe you're right, but we discussed this. We're concerned that maybe if he performs chalitza, then he'll die, and he won't be able to be mekayim the mitzvah. She'll go out without anything. Like we said, v'asa levatel mitzvahs yevamin. Okay, he's not so concerned, like sort of like the guys in the shir when we were talking about it yesterday in a different time about v'asa levatel mitzvah yevamin, that maybe the one of the yevam will die. Everybody shook their head. What? The guy's going to die. There's once a woman asked Reb Chaim Brisker. She said, "My husband went missing. Is he going to come back?" He said, "Yes." She said, "Is my husband alive?" "Sorry, is my husband alive?" "Yes." "Did he become non-Jewish? Did he convert to Christianity?" "No." "Is he going to come back?" "Yes." And sure enough, a few weeks later, he showed up. So they said, "What? The Brisker Rav, he's a Bal Meifes?" He said, "No." She asked me if he's alive. Yes, he has a chazaka. People have chazaka, they're alive. She asked me if he went off the derech. People have chazaka of kashrus. So how did you know he's going to come back? Well, if he's alive and he didn't become a Christian, so why wouldn't he come back? Okay, I'm not concerned the person's going to die. So, but maybe we could force him to the mission a different way. This goes according to Rebbe Lazar. Rachel. You're right, she started out beheter, but because she became usher to Shimon when Leah became an almana, so it never goes back. It says Gemara, in the Sefer Rebbe Lazar, Rachel Rebbe Lazar. If you look in the Mishnah, and we're going to talk about this, in the Mishnah it says, Rebbe Lazar says that according to Bishamai, if they're kansu yikaimu. So that means Rebbe Lazar only appears at the end of the Mishnah, he's not part of the beginning of the Mishnah. The Sefer Rebbe Lazar, Rachel Rebbe Lazar. V'neimelu, says Gemara another way maybe. The novel b'vazachas. Maybe the two sisters, Rachel and Leah, there's no first and second. They both became almanas when their husbands got killed in a plane crash. So it happened simultaneously. And we hold Rabbi Yossi Aglili, it's possible. And therefore there's no first and second, so you can't be Michail's one or the first one. There is no first one. They're both equal. Rabbi Yossi Aglili is a yachid. It can't be that our Mishnah goes like Rabbi Yossi Aglili. We just don't know that Leah is the second one. Maybe we don't know. There's a chasarni idea who died first. But later on the Mishnah says that if the brothers, they went and they were miyabim these women, and it says they have to divorce them. Why? Why did they have to divorce them? The first one who married the Yevamos, who gave you the right to be miyabim? But the second one, maybe I had the right to be miyabim her, and therefore I shouldn't divorce her. Says Gemara, and therefore, and that's why Rabbi Yochanan is stuck. I have no idea who the author of this Mishnah doesn't fit into my shita. Okay, weiter in the Mishnah, new sugya. So, if you remember this case, you have four brothers over here and two sisters on top. You see the two sisters? Two sisters are married to two brothers. Rachel is married to Reuven and Leah is married to Yehuda. But it happens to be that Shimon is related to one of the sisters. It's his mother-in-law. How? If you look at the chart, you see we had this case the other day. Shimon married the five-town woman who is a product of Rachel. Rachel's her mother. And Rachel, the mother, got married to Shimon's brother Reuven. So therefore, if she falls to Shimon, obviously it's not an afila. She's not zechus to him. And therefore, if the other brother Yehuda dies, then Shimon is permitted to marry the other sister. Now you don't have two sisters because they're not zechus. One of them is a mother-in-law. There's no zika. He's mutter in the other one. So the Gemara understood, even in a case, it doesn't say who died first. So even in a case where Reuven is the number one over there, you see, Reuven died first, and then only afterwards the red two is Yehuda. Says the Gemara, let Shimon perform chalitza to Yehuda's wife, Leah. What happened? Rachel was mutter to Shimon and Levi. I'm sorry, Rachel was mutter to Levi. Rachel's never mutter to Shimon because she's his mother-in-law. So Rachel's mutter to Levi. But why can't Levi be miyabim Rachel? Because Leah stepped into the picture. She became an almana, and now it's two sisters that fell to him. So let Shimon get rid of that other sister, Leah. The same question that we had before. Says the Gemara. We're talking about this case. It's just the same case, but instead of Reuven dying first, he died second. Mamela, it doesn't work. The mother-in-law, so what happened was, Yehuda died first. So therefore Leah fell to Shimon and Levi. So Levi was never mutter to Rachel. Why? Because by the time Reuven went bye-bye, Rachel fell to Levi, but Rachel was already a choiskuka because Leah already fell to Levi beforehand. Says the Gemara, easy sugya now. In the Mishnah it says that Reb Lezer holds, that Beishamai hold, that if the brothers jumped ahead and married the sisters, like in this case, instead of doing chalitza, Shimon and Levi married them, what do Beishamai hold? Yikaimu. They don't have to get divorced. So we have a machlekes what Beishamai said. Either they said Yikaimu, they said Yotziu. According to Reb Lezer, Beishamai the Mekel, they could remain married. Reb Shimon Oimer Yikaimu, and Reb Shimon says they could be Mekayim. No, so what did Reb Shimon add here? That's what the Gemara is going to say in a second. Abishal Oimer Kal Hoyel and Beis Hillel, the opposite. Beis Hillel are the Mekel. Beis Hillel are the ones Kal Hoyel. They Mekel. Beis Hillel that say you could remain with her. Says the Gemara, Reb Shimon Kiman. But what does Reb Shimon say? Yikaimu. What is he trying to say? Ike Beishamai, Hainer Reb Lezer. Reb Lezer already said that's what Beishamai say. Ike Beis Hillel, if he's saying that Beis Hillel said Yikaimu, Hainer Abishal. He didn't add anything. Either he's like Abishal or he's like Reb Lezer. What is he saying? Hachi Kamar. He's saying a new thing. There's no machlekes. According to Reb Shimon, there is no machlekes Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai. Everybody's in agreement that if the brothers jump ahead and miyabim, they could remain married to them. If one of them is Isra Erva, going back to that case, I can't control anything. Next chart, please, Tzaddik. Thank you. No, you don't want to do next chart? Okay, Lamasham. If one of them is Isra Erva, as we said before, the case before, I don't know, we'll try to find it here. This one right here. Yeah, so if Shimon is related to one of the sisters who fell to him, one of the sisters is his mother-in-law, but that's a Mishnah Daf Chav, says the Gemara. It's mamish mefurish in the Mishnah. We already said this chiddush. Tzricha. That Mishnah Daf Chav. There's no second brother, so maybe you should go ahead and marry her. You should marry the other one. There's no chash that maybe somebody's going to imitate him. But over here, we have to say that in our case, there's two brothers remaining, so maybe one will mimic the other. And there'll be a problem. The opposite. By us, since there's another brother who's not marrying one, so it's obvious why. So we're not going to make any mistakes. So we need a case of one brother, that two sisters, and one of them is also to him, fell to one brother, and another case in our Mishnah, two sisters fell to two brothers. Fine. Isra mitzvah, again, it says in the Mishnah that if one of the Rachel, instead of being Shimon's mother-in-law, she happens to be his mother-in-law's mother, a shniya, one of the Arabs that are only midrabbanan. So the halacha is you do chalitza. Says the Gemara, Nami Tanina, turning to Daf Amud Beis, sponsored by Moshe Horn in honor of Jolly Joe Krause and family, in honor of Ed Kinsbursky, Brian Kinsbursky, and Ari Miller for learning the Daf. There's a mitzvah of Isikdusha. We already learned this halacha. Also in that mission Daf Chav. Says the Gemara, also is a mitzvah l'chuda, hacha is a mitzvah b'achoisa. In our Mishnah, it's not just Isser mitzvah. Over there, it's just Isser mitzvah. Over here, it's a combination of being a sister and Isser mitzvah. So, Lakewood is a mitzvah, b'mokim is a erva, b'tisyabim. I would think that we're going to say, Chachamim will remove the zika. We're going to see in a second. It's going to remain like an erva. I'm going to say that this woman never fell bezika to the brother, because the whole idea of zika is the Rabbana. So we'll say, since she's already awesome in the Rabbanon, we'll say she never fell to one of the brothers. So therefore the other sister is available for you. Komash malon. Ask the Gemara, what you had to have him in the Shishira. But Midiraisa, she fell to him. Isn't that a typical case of a chois kuka? So that the Chamin says Gemara, Mishum mitzvah of the Rabbanon. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to make her like an erva. And we're going to say that she never fell. The whole concept of zika doesn't exist here, because Chachamim wanted Yibum to take place. Chamash Malon, that no, even in this case, Chachamim don't want there to be Yibum. Now we have the famous case that looks very scary, but it's just a combination of the cases that we had before. Oh, this one right here. I think this is it. Yeah. So you have here where it's the same case that we said before. Shimon's mother-in-law